Says you are live.
We are live. I think we are. We good, everybody? Can everybody hear us and see us okay and all that good stuff? Camper Life was in here at 5:35 saying who's ready for a show, so he was pretty excited.
Daisy, this is not going to work for me. Love you.
Hey guys, so I don't see anything coming in, so hopefully we're live. I don't know. Let me check on my phone real quick. Go. I got somebody in there. Oh, yep. Hey Jeff. That's Jeff. Oh, so anyways, and then Camper Life. Hey. Okay. Hey. All right. So thank you guys for joining our live stream tonight. Oh, we got bunches of people now. There we go. We are live. Bill Langton came on. Landis and Jeremy's here. Oh, Rhonda and Paul are here. Hey guys.
Cool.
Yeah, loud and clear. Okay, so I can talk a little bit lower. Sorry, I have a tendency to talk too loud. And he has a tendency to talk too loud. RV Living Life is here. All right, awesome. So thank you guys for being here. You know, what's better than a Q&A on RV solar and lithium when you kind of lost some footage? Yeah, so long story short, if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you saw that. Hello, Howard Keppel. Thanks for joining us. And so we just wanted to come on and answer some of your questions. So we do have some questions of our own that we have, we've received in the past, but we want you guys to ask us questions. And obviously this guy's going to be answering it.
So, don't hold my feet to the fire too bad.
So, Justin and Christina, thank you for joining us. So, if you have a question, just type question in front of the, your question so that it's easier to read. And then, Mike will hopefully be able to answer them. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So I don't see any questions yet. Okay, Daisy, I realize that you are just so needy. She's over here trying to get her belly rubbed. She's like, what? I didn't do anything. Okay, love you bunches. So having said that, let's go to some of our. Let's go to, I think this is probably a good one to start off with. What do you think? If we do, what equipment does one need for an RV off-grid solar? So check your toolboxes for lost SD cards. Okay, so what does
the components needed?
Yep, what's needed?
Okay, so the high-level look at solar is you have your power collecting on the roof or deployable. You need to convert that energy, so you need another piece of equipment right there, and I'll get to the names. Then the next piece that you would need is if you're not going to use the energy right away, then you need a way to store it. And then finally, if you want to use the energy that's been stored or being collected, you would need 12-volt products. Most RVs are 12-volt everywhere, so you can use lights and fans and stuff like that in your RV to use the on-demand or stored power. And also if you want to go beyond that and power things that are plug-in-the-wall type stuff, that use AC power. That's alternating current power, not to be confused with AC air conditioning. Then you would need an inverter. So coming from the roof or deployables, you would need the solar panels. So, and those come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. And they also, how in depth do you want me to go into this?
I guess it depends on how everybody else wants to go in depth into it. How about you just do like a little overview?
Just a short and sweet on solar panels.
Well, so yeah, so like, okay, so you kind of went through all of like the components. So I guess we can kind of, let's see. So from there, I had that. So do you want to keep on this one instead, or do you want to jump as to why we use specific brands of the equipment?
We'll do the brands.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll start top down again, just like roof down. So on the roof, we typically like to use REC panels. Those are the large 300 plus watt panels. And then the smaller version of panel, we use the Renogy panels, either the Eclipse or the, I don't know what, the Slim line, I think is what they call it.
Compact.
Compact is the other line of Renogy panels that we use. We like Renogy because they are 21 and 22% efficient, and the rec panels also, just over 20% efficient on those as well. What does the efficiency mean? So if a panel is angled toward the sun, the percentage number equals how much of the sun's energy is collected. So if it's 21% efficient, then it has the ability to capture 21% of the sunlight and turn it into energy. That's important because if you had a 100% efficient panel, for example, a 3,000 watt panel that's 100% efficient versus 21% efficient, it would be 5 times more powerful. So the same size of 300 watt panel would actually be 1,500 watt, just under 1,500 watts in the same footprint. So that's huge, and I hope someday in my lifetime we see that technology come out because, for example, the roof that we did, what was it, 29 foot, 11 inches?
Mike and Teresa's?
Mike and Teresa, they had 29,
11 inches.
No. How much solar did they have on it?
Oh, they had 2620? 2620.
2620. So multiply that by 5. They'd have over 10,000 watts of solar on the roof, which would be just unbelievable. So recap, rec panels, REC, and Renogy. We like both of those very much. There are other good brands out there, but those are just the two that we narrow in on just for the systems that we design. Coming into the RV, you have a few different pieces. You have of the electronics. You have the mppt, which is the device that turns the solar power into battery power, and then you have the converter / inverter. So the converter will take AC power, shore power, and keep your batteries charged when you're on shore power generator or portable generator, and then an inverter, which will take your battery or solar power and convert it to plug in the wall power. The pieces that we like to use on those are manufactured by Victron, and specifically the one that we really like is the 3,000 watt multi-plus inverter / converter, and also the mppt also is Victron. And then are there any others? Oh yeah, the battery monitor, the 712. That way, so that you know how much power you have left in your battery bank. For Victron equipment, it's a bang for your buck. The inverter is a hybrid inverter, which basically means that if you're in a driveway and you're plugged into a 15 amp plug that's on, like a little regular plug in the wall plug, you tell the Victron piece of multi-plus piece of equipment that you're plugged into 15 amps, and then let's say you run the AC, your roof AC, air conditioner, and you also, it's dinner time, so you run the microwave at the same time. And what happens I'm trying to not look at the chat.
I know, I'm sorry.
See you over here smiling. Basically what happens is as soon as you turn the microwave on, the Victron piece, the Multi-Plus, is watching that 15 amp level because you've told it that that's what you're plugged into. As soon as you hit 15 amps, it's going to invert and draw power from either solar or batteries and make more power so that you don't trip the breaker, which all of us have been on 30 amp before. Like in an older state park or something like that, and it says that it's a 30 amp breaker, and by golly, you trip it a lot. So if you had this hybrid inverter, you could tell it that you were on 30 amp, actually drop it down a little bit, say that you're on 25 amp, and then you keep doing your, live like normal, and you can invert and use beyond 25 amps whenever the system sees that you're going beyond it. Now, the coolest thing is as soon as you stop inverting, the Multi-Plus switches over instead of inverting and making up the difference when the power level drops below whatever you have it set as. Yeah, see, I was painting with black paint today.
And this is the electrician Band-Aid.
Yes, electrical tape and a napkin. Hey, it's lasted. So anyhow, when it stops inverting, it immediately uses up to your threshold and starts charging the batteries to put the power back into the batteries so that they remain full. And then the battery monitor. That is a pretty nifty little piece of equipment. It basically, you run your battery bank through this device, and then it calculates how much time you have left in your battery bank. You have to program it, of course. And then you can, set warnings so that if you get too low, you can get a little beeping noise and get notified. If the, what's it called? If your battery bank hits a certain threshold. So that's an instrumental piece in all of the parts is your battery monitor, your inverter, and your mppt to control your solar power. And then the last thing, of course, is if it's dark, you still want to be able to, do fun stuff and watch TV. So you have to have a battery bank to store that solar energy or shore power energy, whatever. Doesn't always have to be solar. You can do it without solar, but that's a whole nother video. Anyhow, your battery bank. There are many companies out there that make lithium, LiFePO4, which is, it's just easier to say LiFePO, lithium batteries. But those batteries are, the ones that we like to use are Battleborn batteries.
Whoop, whoop.
The reason that we like to use those specific batteries is because they're almost indestructible. They have a 10-year lifespan, 8-year 100% warranty, 2-year prorated warranty. The rated amperage on the battery is what you can drain it all the way down. So if it says that it's a 100 amp hour battery, you can use all 100 amps all the way down to 0. The piece that makes those batteries significant is the BMS, the battery management system. If it is too hot, too cold, too much voltage, too little voltage, and then dead short, which would be basically dropping a wrench on the terminals and then, arcing straight across, the battery will shut itself off. It will protect itself. And, I'm not perfect. I have been in some very tight places where, I'm just tightening things down and, I'll bump it, and by golly, it wakes me up, makes me realize that I've had to be a little more careful, a little more, we call it finesse.
And he has that finesse. And you'd think that me being smaller framed that I would have at least a little bit, and I don't. Because he's had me in those little nooks and crannies trying to tighten those little, yeah, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. She basically walked away the first time I said, okay, these are the wrenches. This is how they work. Now I've already got everything kind of laid out. If you'll just put the cables, connect all the batteries together with the cables. And did like 2 of them done? And she's like,
oh, I don't even think I did 2. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, I couldn't talk to you for a hot minute after that. You had to go cool off. So anyhow, those are the brands we choose. They stand behind their products.
They also just released
cold weather battery.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, which is huge because, we had a lot of people who, most of our clients don't, they're chasing the weather, so they don't have to worry about that. But then, we have clients who want to, we've been contacted occasionally of somebody who wants to, be able to go to colder weather. And so, it's all game now. Like, Mike, I will work to teach you everything I know. I wanted to go back up here. I wanted to ask, I wanted to say hello to a couple of people who I saw come in, but I also wanted to ask, Justin and Christina, what kind of lithium battery do you guys have? Because they said somewhere they have a Bluetooth battery monitor built into their lithium battery. So I did, that is, you probably already know the answer to that.
It might be the Dragon batteries.
I don't know. But I saw a couple of people come in. I just wanted to say hello. I did see this, that Buddy says hi to Daisy. That's their doggy. And we miss them all so much. Paul and Megan from Dreaming Out Loud already came in. And also Paul and Megan, put in the chat if you guys are available after this this live stream. I'll have Mike give you a call.
Cool.
And we've been talking to them. They're the ones with the camper van.
Oh, cool. Yep.
We had an possible available time open up while we're in Florida. So, yeah, let's talk further about that. And then of course our buddies over at Champing Adventures and Miss Debbie came in. Her and Chet are still finding an RV. We met them in Maryland. I almost said Pennsylvania, but that's not right.
It's a tough time to be looking for one right now. The market's crazy.
And good old Jeff said, thanks for the paint job because your hands are messy. We're working on his RV this week.
Yep.
And then Clayton and Sue came in. Hey, guys. And RV for 4 came in. Thank you guys for being here. And then we have a question from Ronald.
One device 30 amps. One of it's possible to change system 50 amps only when I'm plugged into electricity. So I'm assuming that you want it to stay 30 amps whenever you are running a generator, or so basically you would need a transfer switch. If it's possible to change to 50 amps only when I'm plugged into electricity. Yeah. So you would need to do it like a standard 50 amp coach. You would change your socket on the outside of the RV, upgrade the wire on the inside of the RV to the proper gauge. Then you would need to run it through a transfer switch, and then have your generator also run through that transfer switch. It probably has a 30 amp transfer switch now if it has an onboard generator. So hope that answers the question. If you want to go more in depth, reach out to us. Was it info@drycampers.com?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yep.
info@thedrycampers.com. So.
Yep.
She has all this cool stuff.
And he has asked some really good questions in the past on our past videos. He watches quite a bit.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us tonight too.
And Over the Hill RV came in. Hello, thank you for joining us. And RV Living Life has a 45-foot pusher. I don't know that we will have any availability in the spring. We're currently booking in August and September on the West Coast, but we did have, we might have some availability. So connect with us on that email address or go to our website and fill out an inquiry if you are. Mike does and the cool part about Mike is Mike does I set him up on a conference call from the beginning, and he kind of walks you through everything. You know, he kind of goes from there, and at least you get, you know, you get some information from him. You get a proposal out of him. Even if you decide not to go with us, it's still a pretty helpful phone call, I feel like.
Yep. In that phone call, I designed the system tailored to what you guys need. That way, so that you don't spend like, you know, 10 grand on batteries and only go down to 25%. And then basically you wasted $7,000 on extra batteries that you didn't really need. So it's kind of a big deal to make sure that the system matches your needs.
So Paul and Megan, let us know if you're available after this, if you haven't already. So Justin and Christina are Canadians. So they have a Lithium.
A what?
A Lithium. That's what it looks like.
Lithium.
Yeah. So they're it's a company here in Quebec. So is it Quebec or Quebec?
Quebec.
I don't know. Sorry, my little Southern accent messes up everything. So very cool though. That's really good to know because I mean most of our clients don't have they're not in cold weather, so that's cool. Ronald has another question for you, and that's a good question because we've had a couple of videos on this, but they've been like they're like wrapped up into other videos.
Yeah,
that have had flex solar panels.
Flexible solar panels. I'm just not a fan at all because to really use the flexible solar panel, you're supposed to have some ventilation underneath it. If you don't, then they get too hot and they literally bake the surface that's underneath it. And they only last about, on the good end of things, probably about 25% long as a rigid solar panel. The best warranty I've seen on flexible solar panels in the marketplace is between 5 and 7 years. And those are the Battleborn solar panels was 7 years. And then there's Merlin. Yeah, Merlin solar panels. They have a 5-year warranty, but they are very expensive. They're double or more what any other company charges for flexible panels.
And even though we're a huge Battleborn, I mean, we're affiliates with them. We absolutely adore their customer service. We haven't tested out those panels yet just because we're not big fans, but I know that is it Morton's on the Move?
Morton's, yeah.
And they did something specific that they were able to, use those panels and not necessarily have that damage. I forgot what they put underneath it.
It was that corrugated plastic cardboard.
Yeah. So, but again, like he said, they're pretty pricey. I want to say they were probably in the $500 to $700 range per panel, right?
Right. Yep.
And usually, like with the panels that we use, that's the least cost in the whole scenario.
Yeah, the solar panels on what we're doing, actually, they are the cheapest thing. Like the REC panels from Northern Arizona Wind and Sun, 300 to 330 watt are less than $225, and that's a retail price. But granted, you do have to pay tax and shipping. So if you buy one panel, shipping can be as much as $350. 4 panels would probably be $375. So you're more or less paying for the square footage that you're having shipped instead of the actual weight.
So I don't know if this is I don't know if this is both of them, Natasha and Bill, but thank you for being here, guys. And then we appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Yes, they are available afterwards. Okay, well, I will have him give you a call because it's totally my fault as to why he has not given you a call yet, because I haven't put it on the calendar and I just suck at my job. I deserve to be fired.
No.
I keep trying to get fired, but he's not firing me. I'm just kidding. We just have a lot on our plate right now. So we apologize. And thank you, Camper Life.
Yes, thank you.
And then Jeff says, how would you isolate a possibly bad solar panel?
Get large towels or blankets and then cover all the panels up, and then open your app and watch as you remove the cover off of one panel. Then you should see a certain amount of voltage, and then cover that one back up, and then just go through and systematically check each one. That way to isolate. That's about the only way to do it. And you have to use kind of thick blankets to completely block the light out as much as possible.
And this actually goes to, well, no, I didn't actually put the comment up there, sorry. But this actually kind of goes in line with a question that we get a little bit here and there as to why you do parallel also.
Oh, yes, parallel instead of series. So if, not on all panels, but if you series panels together, means that, like if you have, this is one panel and this is another panel, these fingers are positive, these fingers are negative. So you take and you do a negative and a positive together. Now you have a positive, negative that go through the middle. So that's a series connection. And what that does is it makes the voltage higher to go. The reason that you would wire it that way is because higher the voltage, the less loss that you would have. For example, if you just paralleled everything like this, say you did 4 panels like this, and you had, just for easy math, 100 amps. And then you did 4 panels in like this, like all of them just daisy chain like that. I don't have enough fingers to do it. But
I'm gonna give you some more fingers.
She's giving me the finger. I have video proof. Anyhow, the voltage goes up significantly, and every time the voltage goes up, the current draw is less. And basically, what it's hard to describe without like fully showing you. But I'll probably do like an example at some other time.
The biggest thing that you have told me in the past is what? If
one, in this scenario where you have multiple panels like this, if you have something happen to one of the panels that's in the string of panels, you can lose the whole string. So if you have them all like this, all parallel together, and one of them gets taken away, the other ones are still connected to the plus and the minus. Instead of having to go through the chain, and there's other things that's a factor. They do use what's it called? Diodes, and this one silly little thing can cause the entire string to go out. So it's easier just to parallel everything, use much larger gauge of wire, which cost more.
Ooh, that's one of my things that I had to. I'm prepared.
Yes, you are. Which is why I overgauge everything Why do you use specific gauges of wire? I overgauge everything that way so that the power that's running through the wiring is oversized to the point where you're not going to lose anything. And what I mean by that is, let's just, solar's perfect example. So from the roof down to the basement, I use a 2-gauge wire per set of 1300 watt panels, 13 or 1400 watt panels. The reason that I do that is, let's say the panels are 35 volts and they generate about 35, so about 35 volts at 35 amps. So when I use my wire gauge calculator to figure out the loss, at 35 amps running through that wire, it's 98 or 99% efficient. Now, let's say that I changed from a 2-gauge wire, I dropped down to a 6-gauge wire, which is what most RVs are pre-wired with. So if you have a solar prepped RV, it probably has 6-gauge wire. If I ran 35 volts at 35 amps through that 6-gauge wire, I'm going to have about 10 to 12% loss. I don't have my phone, I don't have my calculator on there. It's just a guess to give you an exact number. But so because of the smaller gauge of wire, yes, the number's bigger, but that means the gauge is smaller. You are only going to be capable of 85% of those panels getting into the equipment versus 98 to 99% of the power collected can get into the wire. So same thing through the whole thing with AC power, with the batteries connecting to the multi-plus, all of the equipment is overgauged. What we got?
So Clayton and Sue said, I think Mike goes way above and beyond on his installs. Don't think you would get that other places.
Well, thank you very much. But
customer service is definitely high on our list, and that relationship that we build with each of our clients, and it's past a relationship at this point. We have friendships.
Yep.
And Bill is at the controls, but both are there. Hi, Bill and Natasha.
I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit.
That's perfect. Hello.
There.
William wants to see me in HR.
It's like going to the principal's office.
Oh gosh. So Jeff said that makes sense. So that's awesome. These guys are actually in Toronto. Okay, so a funny story is that we've actually been, so our plans were to go to Alaska for the summer in 2021.
They may be really good friends, like really, really good friends.
Well,
meet us at the border, maybe?
We have found that somebody had said that it was okay to travel to Alaska through Canada, but after reading a couple of days ago, that's not a thing. It's only essential travel. So we don't really know if we're going or not, but we do have eventual plans to do that. And if you come into the US, absolutely, we can totally meet up there. And Ronald has a question, but I wanted to put this one up there because it was so funny. They have the best comments ever. They used to do lives on Friday night, guys, and they are pretty darn awesome. Like, they're my favorite live stream that we've ever been on.
They say electricians always know what's up.
Oh Lord. Wow. Everybody's got corn on the cob here. And this Shanna came into the room. Mike's amazing. 9 months later, he walked me through installing my 3 solar panels. He already pre-wired. We're extremely happy with them. And just an installation, it's the support. That is right. Yeah, she actually did her. She got 3 new solar panels, added it to the system by herself. Yep, that was really crazy. Better than I could do, girl. And Miss Joyce is in the room, in the house. He thought that was funny. and facepalm here. Customer service is second to none. And bless William's heart, he's had to find out, you know, other customer service things are not quite second to none.
Yeah, manufacturers not always.
Okay, so I knew that these guys were gonna have. Okay, the Canadian ground border is closed. The only way to get to the U.S. is to fly, and if you want your RV, you have to ship it across the border. Well, we won't be doing that.
Yeah, not happening.
You can pass through Canada to Alaska if you travel direct with no tourist stuff. See, this is what I was told. This is what I heard. But when I looked it up online on the, it was actually Alaska. The I guess a .gov kind of. Anyways, they said that they're still we've agreed. I guess the U.S. and the Canadian border has still agreed upon just essential travel only. So.
It's essential that we get to Alaska. You just don't understand. And then whenever we're coming back, that's going to be really essential too.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back up here because Ron
had or something.
Another question. He said he had saw a website that used use solar panels.
I'm kind of on the fence about this. I mean, a brand new solar panel is anywhere from $100, basically $1 per watt up to, well, no, the other ones are a little less than that too. So from about 70 cents a watt up to $1.50 a watt for brand new panels. I just would be a little bit leery of trying to save money on something that you're going to be dependent on if you're out in the wild. You might be miles from town, and it would not be. I would not be a happy camper if I had to hook up
no pun intended.
And tow back into town because I lost power. Yeah, that just would not be very happy. I'd be pretty mad at myself, actually. So I don't know if the warranties on those things are transferable too, but even then, I just don't feel that it's worth the risk. So that's just my 2 cents. I've actually installed used panels on the 399TH. Yeah, the 399TH had used 360 watt panels. They were nice panels. They did output a lot of power, but I mean the price difference was only like maybe $50 per panel. You saved $400. Well, when you're spending in that system, golly, $22,000, $23,000, $24,000 on a big system like that, saving $400 on the solar panels, just you don't really get the benefit out of it, in my opinion. That's
totally our opinion.
Yep, totally my opinion on that one.
So they said that you have to prove that you're going to direct to Alaska. So if we make campground reservations, maybe that'll work. Oh. We were planning on doing a caravan though. That's the other thing.
Hi, me and my 15 friends would like to cross the border now. Thank you.
So it's probably not going to work for us, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. I guess I think we're gonna. I agree, William. I mean, like, we're not all bad. I promise I wear my mask. I'm actually very careful.
Yeah. Not when I'm driving down the road though, like some other people. I've seen them. They're out there.
They might be in here. Is a restroom break at a restaurant and you happen to buy I Love Alaska t-shirt while traveling through Canada to Alaska considered a tourist break? I'm telling you, you guys have to start your live streams back up because you guys are hilarious. I love it. And I love trivia. They do a lot of trivia, not like that.
Yes.
I like to play. Mike and Teresa, thank you guys for being here. All right, so we have a new question from somebody new. Thank you for joining us, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Oh, are all of the solar wires grouped as a series and or parallel in the combiner box? Covered this a little bit ago, but I do everything in parallel just because it's more simple. Excuse me. I overgauge the wire to compensate because it's parallel instead of series. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Yes, parallel for me and all of my customers.
But it goes in the combiner box the same way as how they're wired.
Yes.
So he may have been here earlier. I don't know, but I just wanted to make that clear. And then Pastor Marc is here.
Hey, hey.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Glad you're better.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. Okay, so it looks like that's all the questions that we have in the chat for now. So let's go back up and see what we have. What, this one? Okay.
Why do we choose to do 12-volt systems? And this is specifically referring to...
We've gotten a little bit of
flack.
Yeah, we've gotten a little bit of flack about this, but it's mainly from DIY people, and there's a reason.
Yep. So 12-volt systems, meaning the battery bank is 12 volts or 24 volts or 36 or 48 volts. So I do all of my systems at 12 volts. Yes, it's a little bit less efficient. However, the ability for one of my customers to add a battery is much easier. So if you do your system in 24 volt, yes, Battleborn does make 24 volt batteries now, but you would have to add 2 of them to add the 100 amps. The 24 volt battery is only 50 amps. So it's more cost effective after the fact if you're expanding your battery bank. If you have a 48 volt system, then you have to, I mean, it's just going to, basically whatever you add to it has to be 48 volts when it's wired all together. So if you were buying, let's say I had 4 batteries in a system, Mike and Teresa, if I wired your system together as 48 volts, they have 4 batteries. So you series the batteries together to get to 48 volts. Then let's say that and then I used a 48 volt inverter on their system, and then everything's running great. It's just they're struggling at night. They need to add 1 more battery to be able to get through the night. So to add that 1 extra battery, you actually need to buy 4 more batteries, or at least 2 24 volt batteries at a minimum to wire together to get to 48 volts. So if you wanted to keep things symmetric in that you started with 4 12 volt batteries to get to 48 volts, it would cost you $4,000 of Battleborn of whatever battery, could fill in the blank battery, to make up a second battery at 48 volts. So in the long run, no, it's not as efficient. Yes, you have to gauge your wires appropriately so that you don't have the loss. But I like to keep things simple. And another thing too, on the simplicity of it, everything in your RV runs on 12 volts. So if you do another voltage, 24, 36, or 48, then you have to have a DC to DC power converter to take the battery bank voltage and step it down to match what your RV uses. Another piece of equipment. So the efficiency that you're saving, you're losing in other equipment, the higher expense to expand. There's just a lot of factors. Plus, you have to understand how 48 volt works. Like, not that this would ever happen. Let's say you had a battery go bad. Now you have to understand how it's wired together so that you can take that one out and put that one back, a new one back in. So that's another thing that has to that is a concern. So.
And a lot of DIYers, correct me if I'm wrong, I know enough to be dangerous, you guys. So a lot of DIYers actually do, the different
different voltage
system, different voltages, because they go cheaper on the wire, right? Because like for us as a business, we can purchase in bulk and it's cheaper essentially. So whereas a DIY person is only going to buy,
they may buy like maybe 1-aught wire instead of 2-aught or 4-aught wire to interconnect everything together. In doing it that way, you're saving just this much, but then you have to turn around and spend more to get the DC to DC converter to be able to
find the space for the extra equipment.
Find the space for the extra equipment.
If you're asking
me. You have more shutoffs, more fuse protection. In the long run, it really doesn't save you money. Yes, it's a little bit more efficient. Don't get me wrong. I could easily argue both ways. Personal preference to hand a system over to another person, a customer / friend. I want to keep the friend part of that in there. So I don't give people things that are too difficult to understand. I try to keep it simple as possible and single platform. So that's my 2 cents on 12 volt.
Jeff says, so if a coyote gets people across the southern border, what can get you across the Canadian border? They are saying that people have been fined $11,000 for stopping as a tourist, then called again and fined $100,000. And then they also said, it just jumped on me. Shoot.
Bang.
One guy was fined $569,000. So I don't have that much money, so I will not. What are you doing, Matt?
In Canadian dollars, that's like $50.
No. Anyways, it's kind of an insult, I think. But
no,
whatever.
It's just dollars.
I don't know. Ronald has a good question. Are you projecting any West Coast travel in 21? If your Alaskan plans don't happen, and how far in advance do you let the public know your travel plans? So we're kind of an open book.
Yeah, it's on our website.
Yeah, we want to be as open as possible. So everything should be updated on our website. There is a little schedule above the map, and then there's a map. I can only put so many dots on the map though, so the actual readable schedule above the map actually has our plans. We will be on the West Coast for sure, at least. We are already booking in August and September for Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Utah.
Yep.
So then we have some California, Southern California, and
back across to Texas.
We think we're we're pretty sure we're gonna go back across to Texas about October-ish. So but yeah, that's I update that quite often, actually, probably like recently more now than ever, because we continue to this week we had probably 15 inquiries or more.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. We had a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Adventures in Xanadu. This is a really good question that I can't believe we haven't touched on yet.
Okay, if it says pre-wired for solar, have you done one of the pre-wired new rigs yet? Supposedly the connection is on the roof and a line in the wall for a controller. Pre-wired for solar. So like I've said earlier, the wiring gauge for the pre-wire is typically good for about 500 watts of solar. That's it. If you do series your panels together so that you increase your voltage up a lot, you can go with that gauge of wire and not have very much loss whenever it gets to the solar charge controller. New rigs.
Well, I mean, yeah, because well, like think about like the Momentum 397 for Paul, and then the Vanley. Those are brand new rigs.
Yeah, and they were, and I do work.
I don't remember if they're pre-wired.
Well, perfect example was Mike and Teresa. Their rig was pre-wired, but I had to. The gauge was so small, and we were putting so much solar on that roof.
We loaded them up.
I had to literally take the Jaboni off of the roof because it was hitting the bottom of a panel. I would normally just cover it up, but I had to remove it and reseal it and patch it. So
if you want a real boondocking setup, we say don't waste the money on
something small. I mean,
well, no, on getting the solar pre-wire.
Yeah, don't when people contact us, we tell them not to spend I think it's like $250 or $300 to get the pre-wire done. It's not worth it. If it was going to be pre-wired and have 4 2-gauge wires from the roof to the basement, go for that. Otherwise, it's really not worth it.
Most of the time, he replaces everything that's pre-wired.
Yeah, I don't use any of it.
William just does what you say to do.
Do what?
When it comes to my RV electrical setup, I just do what you say and go with it.
Oh.
The Kings of Solar. Yep, we did just do theirs.
Yeah.
It is outrageous, I agree, but they kept flaunting Canadian laws, I assume, because I'm not there and I don't plan to do that. If I can just get through Canada, I'd be okay with that. I want to visit Canada, but if I can't, then, we'll respect that.
Yep.
But not everybody's like that. So, all right, Pastor Marc has a,
what do you see as the main applications for the new built-in heaters for Battleborn batteries? Most of the fifth wheel basements installs aren't they heated, so wouldn't be necessary. Exactly right. So, yes, it's an option, but because I don't put the battery bank in the very front bay, the generator bay, I always go into a heated space. It's not really necessary. But it is good for people like in Class A's, where a lot of times those bays are almost completely open to, the outside weather and everything. Yeah, the elements. Unless a person has a special request, or they're in a Class A and they want to keep the batteries in the same location, I'll just have the person go with the standard. If they want the batteries in the standard location, then yes, I would recommend that they go ahead and opt for the heated battery. Otherwise, if we're going to move the batteries to a heated and cooled location in living space, then we'll just continue on with our, current 100 amp non-heated batteries.
Yeah. I think it's a good push for those people who want to boondock in cold weather. But we don't really have a lot of those people. So, but, at least it's an option now for clients who do want to do that. I'm just so excited to see a lot of our clients and friends in here and, talking about their systems and how much they love them. I just love that. James and Melly from Weekend RVing came in. Thank you for being here. Okay. I don't know, William, but it's been a lot. I'm actually gonna be calculating that soon.
It's not as many as you would think. It's probably about 14 or 15,000, if I had to guess.
Oh, it's just 14 or 15,000. If I want to run one AC at night for 3 to 4 hours when I am dry camping, any suggestions on what AC unit to buy and number of lithium batteries I need? Batteries would be fully charged.
Okay, so the quickest, easiest calculation, if you're using a standard roof AC, 12 or 15,000 BTU, calculate basically 1 battery per hour per AC unit. So if you want 3 to 4 hours, then you would need 3 to 4 batteries. But then you need to add probably 2 batteries, which would cover, all of your other stuff like, if you want to watch TV at night, if you want to charge laptops, that kind of stuff, just your normal living. I would recommend 2 batteries for, even if you don't run AC or anything like that. If you want to just switch over from what you have to lithium, 2 batteries is a really good, very powerful start to have your coach on lithium. But if you want to run the AC, it's 2 batteries plus the number of hours that you're going to want to run the AC. And then kind of leads into another question that someone would kind of think of is how many or how much solar would I need if I have X number of batteries? So the formula is 2 to 1 watts per lithium battery amp. So if you have say you did 4 hours and you had 2 batteries already, so that's 6 batteries total, 600 amps. And then you would double that number, 1200, and call it watts. So you would need at least 1200 watts of solar to be able to recharge your 600 amps of batteries in the next sunny day without a lot of draw. So hope that helps.
Ours was pre-wired, but
yep,
they have new wire.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Definitely not for the kind of job you had done.
No.
Just do what Mike says and keep it simple. Running right. Appreciate that, Joyce.
Thank you.
I am not sure what this question might be.
How do I get to my...
Not really sure what you have going on there, but you can ask us. Mr. Bill has a question.
Lion energy. So I haven't tested a lot of other battery manufacturers just because I haven't had time. I'm basically working on everybody else's rig. I mean, we're booked out into August and September.
We do an install a week.
Yep. So it's been I just don't have time to test. However, not to refer you to another channel, but what's his name? The young kid?
Will.
Yeah, Will
Prowse.
Yeah, he is an excellent source on lithium batteries and solar. He's got his own.
He is
DIY
so wicked
book.
smart too.
Yeah.
He actually is a huge fan of Battleborn as well. And he's actually done testing a lot on his channel actually. And so that was
I don't know if the Lion batteries have BMS in them, battery management system, but if they don't, then you have to buy another piece of equipment to equalize and make sure that your batteries all charge equally.
I think they might, but I can't remember because I did a little bit of research because somebody else was asking us about them. Dave has come in. Thank you, Dave, for being here. And Fabian and Becky are here. Hello. Thank you for being here. Oh, here we go. How do I get you to do mine?
So down at the bottom of the page, info@thedrivecampers, just shoot us an email with your RV and just, basically your make and model of your RV, what you want to be able to do. And Leanna will do some more logistics and go back and forth and probably get a call set up to, I'll do a conference call with you to figure out exactly what you need, design a system, send your proposal, and then we'll compare schedules.
I'm sorry. They always make me laugh.
Hold on. I haven't finished reading it yet.
Dawn, bless your heart, honey.
Oh Lord,
that's actually pretty funny.
That's actually very funny.
Well, don't give him any ideas, Bear, because he might make me start doing that so that I can get some exercise. Dave has a good question. So Dave is a potential client, and after your installs, how is service performed if there's a problem?
So, all right, I'm gonna switch up just a little bit here, get a little bit more comfortable. As long as I don't break things. Okay, so if there is a problem after the fact, you would give me a call. I'll help you troubleshoot. If you are, you just want it fixed, if you don't want to troubleshoot, then we would send a local tech out and I'll guide them on what to troubleshoot and how to diagnose what's wrong. And then if that doesn't resolve it, then I have looked at flying 2 people. You know, I'm not going to leave you high and dry. I people
he goes above
yeah.
and beyond to I can't say this for other installers because I don't know what other installers do, but I find that the way that we do things, I think, is pretty ethical. We're not going to. It may take him a hot minute before he can answer a question, you know, because if he's working in the middle of the day. But like if it's a thing, like he's. This week he was at William, as a matter of fact. We spent a lot of time with William this week, troubleshooting some things. And I mean, it wasn't anything with his system per se. It was actually just an electrical thing.
Right.
But he still goes above and beyond. And I know I'm a little bit biased because I'm sitting right next to him and I'm his wife, but he goes above and beyond. And I think that there's, a lot of people here who will agree with that. That's just how we do things. We've paid for mobile techs before just to diagnose something that maybe wasn't our issue, or maybe it was. I don't know.
Well, statistics. What have we done? Well, we've done
about 40 rigs,
almost 40 rigs. Yeah. I've had 2 mobile techs come out, or 1?
I can only recall 1, but
1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I've troubleshot with probably 5 at the most. A couple of things weren't even fault of the system. It's been bad park power a couple of times. It's been components in RVs. But since the solar,
I think we sold him on it. I mean, like he's like awesome.
Thank you. But I've even helped people who were just like Leanna saw somebody on Insta or YouTube or somewhere.
Yep, Instagram. Stacy and Steve of RVing Your Life.
Yep. They were stuck somewhere and
couldn't get their slide in.
Yeah. What do they have?
They have a Class A, and I can't remember what it is now.
It is a.
I think it's a Tiffin.
Tiffin, yes, it was Tiffin Allegro. Yep. They couldn't get their slide in, so and it was all electric, nothing hydraulic. So I troubleshot with them for about 15 minutes or so, and we figured out that one of the circuit breaker fuses below the driver's seat. There's a compartment on the front of the bus, and he was able to switch a fuse around, take the old one out, and put a spare one in, and then slides work fine. So I have, I'm pretty good at troubleshooting as long as, just do what I tell you to do.
Honestly, like that's one of his, I would say that's one of his gifts, and it is a total gift. I am not a troubleshooter. Don't call me and don't ask me. I mean, well, I don't say that because I have actually troubleshot with some people before, but only what I know, which is enough to be dangerous with. But this guy, like, this is a talent of his is troubleshooting, and it's wicked weird, but he figures it out pretty quickly. Fabian had a question as to why you install in the basement and not the front compartment.
Just specifically temperature. Keep the batteries out of the non-temperature controlled environment. And then the equipment I don't put in the front bay either, because then if the batteries are further away, then I would have to use a much larger wire to get the power over into where the equipment is. So I keep all the equipment and the batteries as close as possible to eliminate wire loss. So
the biggest thing, though, honestly,
space.
Is I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm just because we're full-time RVers and because his wife is a nag. Space is so big for us, especially now in the Airstream. I want as much space as I can get, and I don't want an entire bay taken up by equipment that could be damaged. The one that we're working on this week, So it's actually a reinstall. I don't know if we were gonna tell anybody of that. Anyways, but it's a reinstall of somebody else's work. And there were 6 batteries in the front bay, which isn't a bad thing. But they weren't even strapped down, and
they weren't mounted in any way.
They weren't mounted. They were moving.
They were literally ratchet strapped together.
I mean, you can obviously mount them in the front, but I mean, I like that space. That's me personally. And a lot of people, and that's usually the thing it is, you know, for a lot of people, I think why they choose you as far as that goes. But he did also say behind that, though, you do a great job, though, and it looks very clean.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I don't know if you know them by their channel name, but he is the one that was in William's rig with us. I think we were talking about LJMJs.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hi.
I'm the channel name person. He so yeah.
I know people better.
Yep. So Daniel Hunt has a question.
If you were to build a system in a DRV with no room behind the sliding storage doors because of black gray tank, heating, wet bay, water lines, would you use the bay generator go or where? Most of the time I take things apart and find space, and then, you know, look in nooks and crannies. If that's the case, sometimes going under the bed, if it has a front over the cab bed, that's another space that I've used in the past.
In like travel trailers, specifically because of
oh yeah,
they're a little bit different and way more challenging. You know, he's done things under the fridge, under there's a panel where there's literally nothing behind it and they just close it off, you know.
And I put stuff there.
Yeah, so he just finds those spaces to where it'll work best. Like in Airstreams, he actually, like, we have a
jackknife sofa.
What's it called? Jackknife?
Jackknife
sofa.
Okay,
I was just kidding. A jackknife sofa. And so he doesn't have our system in this RV because it's the newer RV to us. It's happening this week. But we'll have that install video up pretty soon.
Eventually.
But anyways, they'll go under the couch here. So,
and like in another Airstream and a reflection bumper pull, I put the batteries behind a set of drawers, completely void space that was between the shower and the backs of the drawers. So it's just all at how you look at things and making sure that things will fit.
I love Joyce.
Yes.
They had an alarm going off, and she I think she texted me, and she was like, there's something going on with the system, like there's a beat going on, like, I mean, I was like, I called him, I think I called you or something, I got him and was like, dude, call Joyce, and it was their smoke detector going off.
I actually asked her, I think it was hairspray. Hairspray is what set it off. It was super sensitive. When I was doing the install, I was spray painting the background, and it went off a lot. So
it's heated space and does not take away from your usable space. They actually give us more space. Yep.
Welcome.
Do you ever estimate the total investment, not your labor, your clients invest in their solar setup? So on all of our, and I'm not sure if I completely understand. Okay. Thank you, William. Actually, okay. So I did understand it. So on our proposals, what we do, we always quote retail prices, but our vendors that we do use, they can give you discounts. William actually did a great video about an Escapees discount. Escapees is probably, if I had to say, probably one of the biggest discounts that one can receive. Over in a veteran and a law enforcement discount also with Battleborn, because meant to be RV and got a law enforcement one. So Battleborn that's another reason that we love Battleborn, is because they always take care of our clients. It doesn't matter you know, what's going on. If you're not in
right.
Yeah, if you're not an escapees, if you're not a law enforcement, if you're not
fill in the
veteran,
blank.
yeah, if you're not eligible for those discounts, they still give all of our clients a discount, which is it's not
like, amazing, but it's still a discount.
Yeah, it's not as great as like the escapees discount, but there is a discount. So essentially what happens in our breakdown of our proposal is how, so we break down, you know, what you're spending with Battleborn, what you're spending with your solar, and then what you would be paying us. So everything is completely broken down. And then like William says, you know, he has a full breakdown of that
on his channel
with the escapees discount.
Yep.
Okay, so Ronald talking about, are RV surge protectors is hardwired any better than the one you use on the pedestals? Are there 30-50 amp protectors that are reusable, reset able? If there's a surge, any suggestions, names? This is another good question. This is actually one that we're going to have. I know we're over an hour, guys, but we still have 27 people here and we're still getting questions, so we'll answer.
We'll just keep going.
We'll just keep going.
Cool. So RV surge protectors. All right. Okay, so hardwire versus pedestal. If you want to bypass, like if you know that it's just a grounding issue and you understand what not having the ground means, but it's freaking hot, you know, it's 100 degrees in Florida with, you know, 96% humidity, and you have to have AC, and you want to bypass the dog bone unit and just plug straight into the pole so that you can cool off, you can do that. Not quite as easy all the time with a hardwired unit in your rig. There is well, what's that? Power Watchdog.
Yeah, it's by Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes makes a Power Watchdog, which is a Bluetooth unit, which is kind of cool.
The Arctic Fox that we released recently.
Yep, they had a Power Watchdog, and they had me move it into the rig, which is fine. The only problem is it's Bluetooth. That's pretty neat, but you can't bypass it unless you remove it. And then, you know, plug your rig directly into the power pole. Leanna has done some research on it, and
we also got a little email from Michael, which I was about to pull up. So go ahead.
So I don't believe that it is UL certified, but I know it is. There's a okay, so there's a acronym or anagram, whatever, NRTL, which is National Testing and Nationally Recognized Testing Laboratory. I had to say it out. So, and what that means is whenever you have a plug or something that goes in the wall or anything that has power going through it, it's a nationally recognized testing laboratory approved device. UL is up at the very top. They are extremely stringent on all of their testing procedures. It costs a whole lot of money to have a UL listed product. Was it I don't even remember the other. There's two other ones that are very popular in the United States. They're
the surge cards. Is that what you mean?
No, testing laboratories.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening clearly.
So not to say that Power Watchdog isn't a good product. The other one that we recommend and install is the Progressive Industries. It's a HW50C is the onboard hardwired unit. The reason that we promote that one is it's old school, it's dumb. It doesn't have Bluetooth or anything fancy. It has a little LED readout. It's a segmented readout display. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it has a bypass button. So, or a little switch on it. If you are on bad power, but you know it's an emergency, you have to have power, then you can flip the switch and allow the power to come in. That by itself is the whole reason that we put them in, put that specific model in, is because the ability to bypass it. Because if it's an emergency and you have to have power, then you know, if it's an onboard hardwired unit, there's nothing you can do. Either you run a generator or you depend on the solar power and the lithium, even if it's close to dead. That's your only way to get power. There's no other way to bypass the onboard hardwired units. So where did it go? Is hardwired better than pedestal? 50 that are reusable, resettable, surge. I just want to make sure that I answered the whole question. Any suggestions, Nate? So we go with Progressive Industries units that have the bypass ability. And then, but there are some other ones out there that may not be UL, which you can't sell it in the United States unless it has been approved by the nationally recognized testing laboratory. But you know, I think that's pretty much answers the question.
The only thing that, so we had a client that you know, does have the Power Watchdog, and the only thing with that, they said that it's they tripped it since they've gotten the system, but they couldn't pull up the app soon enough to find out what their error code was. And so had they had the Progressive Industries, though,
yes,
it would still have the error code on there. So that was the only thing that they said they, you know.
And the Progressive Industries, whenever it trips, whenever the power comes back on, it shows you on the display, it says PE and then a number. Well, PE is code for the pre-existing error that shut it off to begin with. So it does tell you what caused the shut off. So
yeah. So, you know, Joyce loves Battleborn, Championing Adventures. They also have that Watchdog. Clayton says ETL is the other one.
ETL, yep.
Yep. Thanks, Clayton.
Thank you, Clayton.
William has a Progressive Industries also. And then we have Thin Blue Lane in the house. Hey, guys, Bill and Nancy. They have actually wired a huge Power Watchdog and a huge auto former in the basement. So, cool. I mean, we have, it seemed to be a pretty cool,
I mean, I don't dislike it by any means. I just, I wish it had the ability to bypass personally. But that's just a personal preference.
And you are very welcome, Ronald. You know, we're not real big into, like, actually, I want to say I saw this question. Okay, I did. It was by Richard. So we don't do that, and that's solely for liability, because we can't.
Every single rig that I install, even in the progression of the same rig, every single install is a little bit different.
Yeah,
I have not,
and we actually don't. He doesn't use.
I'd say Airstream is about the only. I don't use drawings. I don't have blueprints. I don't have schematics. I just know and understand how everything works and works together. I mean, that's pretty much how I do it. I don't really. The most that I have right now is.
Night, guys.
Good night.
Thanks for being here.
The most that I have right now that I do is whenever I'm drawing, I literally draw how I want the wiring to go to make it look good. I already know how it's going to interconnect, but for the I don't know, wow factor, the flair that I give it, that makes the installs look good as well as perform. So
they're not necessarily a vendor of ours, Daniel. We mainly use Renji and, is it REC or REC? I don't know. I call them both.
It's
REC
REC,
Solar.
yeah.
REC
Solar, REC Solar.
we have done an install with continuous resource panels, but they were the choice of the client. And we have actually gotten a little bit of, we recently gotten some screenshots of their mppt, and they actually, they didn't perform as well as
I thought they would.
Yeah, well as the Renogy panels.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of factors that could have been. You know, what was the angle of the rig? That specific rig had a pretty sloped back end. It was a reflection, and you know, it just depends. Lots of factors. Like if you had two rigs sitting side by side with the exact same rig, that would be a fair comparison. He was only getting about 60% of 100%.
Yeah.
So as a peak over many days. So I don't know what all the scenario was, but I.
Bye guys. Thanks for being here.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving. I don't know what everything was, but you know, it wasn't performing as well as I would have expected it to. That's a good thing. So there is a programming option on the MultiPlus that you can tell it that whenever you get to a certain level of battery bank, then use shore power. In other words, only if your battery bank hits a certain level, you know, from you know, running AC and doing whatever, living as normal, you can program the thing to tell it to when you it's almost like kind of the inverse of hybrid inverting, where you know you set your amps that you're connected to, and then it'll start inverting if you go past that. Well, flip that around and let's just stay on battery and solar power, and then whenever we need shore power to charge the batteries back up, if it's a cloudy day or whatever, then we'll use shore power. So kind of a neat thing, set of programming parameters that you can do with the MultiPlus as well. So thought I'd share that.
I think this is always a good question.
Yes.
We recently had, I think, somebody who actually asked about it.
What is the typical weight of a system? So we start at what we call the minimum system to run AC, which is 1,300 watts of solar, it's 4 panels, 4 batteries, a MultiPlus 3,000 watt inverter, a 150/100 mppt solar charge controller, 712 battery monitor, and you know, all the wiring and the interconnecting, and that starts at around 450 pounds, something like that. I added a thing onto our proposals that will give you the weight of the system, plus or minus about 10 pounds. And that fluctuation is going to be because of the wire. I don't know exactly, you know, how much wire I'm going to use in a system. But that's where they kind of start. And then you do get to deduct, like if you have 2 lead acid or AGM batteries in the front, you get to deduct that weight off of the off of how much the system is going to weigh. So if you have 2 and they weigh about 70 pounds apiece, then your 500-pound system, you know, deduct that off, you're at 360. Adding 360 to what your RV's current weight is. So the CCC, which is your cargo carrying capacity, is important to know what it is. It's good to weigh before you have a system installed and after you have a system installed. For the most part, I try to balance things out a little bit. If I know that, like, your kitchen slide has the fridge and stove and, you know, a whole bunch of cabinets and stuff on it, your rig is probably going to be heavy on the refrigerator side. So a lot of times I might spread the batteries out try and put them towards the middle of the RV, or if the refrigerator side is on the driver's side of the RV, then I'll stack the whole system on the passenger side of the RV. So weight is very important whenever you are contemplating having a system installed, and hopefully you're not at or over, because insurance companies aren't too happy with people driving around overweight if you have accidents. The other thing with that was like the bigger systems, like the Max systems with the double multi pluses, 6 batteries, 8 big panels, double MPPTs. Those systems are about 700 pounds. So short version of that is what I typically install is between 450 to 750 pounds of gear to make your rigs off grid.
Let's see. Ventures in Xanadu said, has anyone tried the really cheap, like $64 Progressive Industries 30 amp surge that has separate power pole tester than just a tiny plug like an adapter? I am not familiar with that.
Going back to the surge protectors in general, you really want one that does high voltage, low voltage, ground, miswiring. So if the wiring is crossed or backwards, you want it to do the hertz as well. So either too high hertz or too low hertz whenever you have the device protecting your rig. The decent ones for 50 amp coaches start at about maybe 350 and go on up from there. The 30 amp rigs is about $50 to $80 cheaper than that, but you definitely want to have all of those things protected. Again, that was high voltage, low voltage, high hertz, low hertz. And should I explain hertz? Okay.
Somebody wants to know, just let us know.
Yep, just let us know. If your clocks run fast or run slow, it's because the hertz is off. So it's cycles per minute. What was it? High voltage, low voltage, hertz. Bad wiring and bad ground, earth ground. Earth ground is pretty important, especially if it's super stormy, or if you have like ground fault plugs, which every rig does. It's good to monitor that as well.
I'm assuming that means like what the systems cost,
Yep.
Which is another question that we were actually going to
it's
discuss. But
go ahead and do that one. Or do you want me to just do the cost? Okay, so quick and dirty on cost. We have what, 1, 2, 3,
well, everything
4,
is
5 pack. We have 5 kind of packages.
Everything is designed though for each specific individual,
right,
and their needs,
right,
and wants.
So
I was just saying anywhere from.
Yep, from minimum AC is kind of where minimum system to run AC, which is 4 panels, 4 batteries, multi-plus, MPPT, and a 712. Installation equipment, all the interconnecting everything, turnkey, 13?
Yeah, sorry, that dog outside is driving me nuts. I hope y'all can't hear that. I'm so sorry.
13,000, 13,500, something like that. And then goes all the way up to, we have a Max Plus system that has like 4,000 watts of solar on the roof.
We have very little that are doing. I would do max.
Just max, okay.
Yeah.
So max system is.
I mean, you can put as much money as you want onto it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to throw 20 batteries in the basement,
it's a little scary.
You know, we'll build the floor up and then put plexiglass there, and it'll look really cool, and I'll backlight it. But I mean, that's $20,000 in batteries. So
yeah,
I mean,
but our max package goes up to about 25, I think.
Yeah, 24, 25, a little over 25.
It just depends on what you need. Clayton, we are, this is something that we're going to be working on for our clients on the back end. Were we doing a video just specifically for the clients, or are we going to be like?
Well, okay, so required things to have is a MK3 to USB dongle so that you can reprogram your multi-plus. You have to have,
or we'll be meeting back up.
And you have to have a laptop to do it. Unfortunately, you can't just use the app to program anything on the multi-plus.
But we are working on that.
Yep.
That's something that we're going to do with our system, which he's installing this week. So that'll be more information on our private Facebook group that we have.
Mm-hmm. Golly gee willikers. We have all those meters in our hertz and volts stuff. I'll try not to look at them.
Thanks, Jeff.
Oh, yep. So in case people weren't around, we're doing a reinstall for Jeff. So.
Long story short.
Yep, long story short. So, anyhow.
Appreciate that, William.
Yep. Appreciate the confidence.
I don't know that you would have that specific dongle, Clayton. It is different than the one that came. It's not like the Bluetooth dongle. It's a programming dongle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're back up to 27 people. Wow. Okay.
Did we cover all the questions?
I mean, we talked about this, didn't we? About AC?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh. So I think we covered all of our questions too that we yeah. So we covered all of our questions. I think that we've covered all of the questions in the chat. Do you guys have any other questions? Just as a little what do you call it? Yeah, I guess sidebar while any questions might be coming in. We are currently booked out pretty much into the late summer, fall of next year. Mm-hmm. But that also depends on our Alaska trip. We were planning to do Alaska next summer. Not sure that that's going to happen now. So we may have some openings, yeah, for the summer, but that'll be on the West Coast. We have been mainly East Coast, so we get a lot of people on the West Coast that are like, they won't even like check us out or look at us because they're like, oh, well, they're not going to be West Coast, but we will be West Coast. So anyway, we're going to be spending a lot of time on the West Coast next year, which is nice. But we are spending our winter this year in Florida. So is this right?
Well, it has to be the one from Victron. It can't just be USB to serial.
Yeah.
It's the MK3 to USB.
Yeah. We are also looking forward to that, Bill. Yes. I think we're going to be doing an August, possibly September, if I remember correctly. I hope this isn't too personal. What do you use with the? Is this what you're laughing at? Or?
Yep.
Okay. What do you use with the equipment you take out of an installation? Can it be used to make a next install cheaper? No, we never take anything out.
Basically, if Leanna is the customer and this is the piece of equipment, that's how it goes.
Yep. So we, so essentially you get everything back. You get the converter and you get the lead acid batteries or AGM batteries, depending on what you have in your system. You can do with whatever you want with them. We don't typically do the lithium and the lead acids together. Or even AGM together. We don't mix batteries. So you essentially, what we want you to do is we want you to get the money back out of it. You sell it. You take it back to
oh, you can take it to an auto parts store if it's for the batteries. They'll at least give you a core charge. It might be $10 to $20 depending on where you're at in the country.
Yeah.
On your batteries if nobody wants to buy them from you if you advertise them. But one thing I did want to touch on, it's super quick, oil and water, lithium, AGM / wet cell batteries, they do not mix. Just stick to one or the other, specifically because when you're either going, if you have a battery bank and it's composed of AGM wet cell plus lithium batteries, and if you go to charge that battery bank at the lithium charging rate, you will probably explode your wet cell or AGM batteries because there's no restricted power going into the battery bank. It's a much more powerful, free-flowing, high current charge rate for lithium than it is for the wet cell AGM. Now, if you flip that and you have a lithium battery bank, lithium with wet cell AGM mixture all together, and you charge it at the wet cell / AGM rate, it's going to take a long time. I mean, a long time to get all of those batteries fully charged because the charge rate on the wet cell / AGM batteries, I think it's like a fifth, like 20% or 25%. And you won't get them you won't get the lithium completely fully charged because the wet cell batteries, they don't charge up to the same voltage as AGM does. So short version, super, don't do that. Sorry, you wasted your breath.
Oh, no. So, you're good. You're the guy they want to hear from. They don't want to hear from me. But on the sidebar though, to that, like for the reinstall that we're doing this week, essentially everything, and I actually have a great B-roll shot of this, by the way. But essentially everything that Mike took out of Jeff's rig, he literally threw it out the door. That being the wiring. We do, it's not something that we reuse at all. Everything we start from brand new. We don't reuse anything. I
mean, and not, so you don't even know this.
Like, oh, wait, where'd it go? Here we go. Ryan is also a client. Their old equipment still in storage unit. They haven't done anything with it.
Gotcha. Sell it, man.
But I mean, we just let you guys deal with that. That's not something that we wanted to. And frankly, we don't have the room. His truck is already full enough, and I'm not putting anything else in this RV. No.
Short version on throwing all the stuff out. You didn't even see the full pile. I hadn't even got to the batteries yet whenever you filmed the B-roll stuff. I mean, there's 12 or 15 battery cables that ended up pulling out as well.
This is a great question. This is actually something we haven't touched on.
So if you're going to run an AC unit on an inverter, it's mandatory. You have to have a soft start or easy start on the unit, on the AC unit for the compressor, because when the compressor turns on, it's just too much of a punch. If you have other things in the RV running that are deducting from the 3,000 watt of the multi-plus, and the AC kicks on and it gets that punch, it could, and I have seen it, literally go into overload because it was too much of a draw all at once, and the multi-plus shuts itself down because it has a lot of protection circuits built into it, and then the whole system goes dark, and then it comes back on a few minutes later. You must have easy starts if you're going to run an AC. It also will extend the life. It makes it easier on the compressor. It should extend the life of your AC unit. So very good thing to have on an RV.
This is a very interesting question. And thank you for watching, Mark.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Enjoy watching your install videos. Is there a good place to get roof diagrams for truss setup? We have a 2021 Grand Design Solitude S-Class 2930 RL and cannot seem to identify the trusses. They use standard plywood 4 feet wide. So if I don't know how, see, it's a 2021. So when it gets a little bit more age on it, the roof will actually, you'll see the seams. But the seams are not like a standard typical truss. If you put a screw down through at the seam, it seems like it hits nothing. I don't know what type of channel they're putting under the seam to hold everything together, but it's not a standard type of joining unit. I almost like, we're planning on being in, we want to go to Indiana to Elkhart to go to Lippert. I want to go to Grand Design. I want to go to oh, there's somebody else that's there that I want to go check out their place too. But
check them all out.
Yep, let's check them all out. As many as we can. Just spend some time there. Move in, set up shop. Seems to be RV Mecca there anyhow. But you could possibly reach out to Grand Design. Their customer service is actually pretty good. They are very helpful. Not that they're going to send you like a CAD drawing or anything like that, but you know,
hey, nice.
They are definitely one of the easier RV companies to work with. Unlike what was it, Newmar?
William's still in the room.
Yeah.
So Clayton did order that. So cool. Yep. Yeah, we'll be in touch, Clayton.
Cool.
That's a good question too.
We measured and laid out the roof, looking at 10 panels and 6 battle borns. I need some people.
I see some people use
2 Victron inverters. Why use 2? So basically, whenever I have a you know, the conference call with people to find out their boondocking style and what they want to be able to do with a system whenever they're you know, dry camping, boondocking, whatever. If you're only going to run one AC at a time, then you only need 1 inverter. And you would have to either couple the legs together of L1 and L2 for a 50 amp coach. What's the name of that company? AM Solar sells the I don't even know the name of the box, but it couples leg 1 and leg 2. It's like $500 for that box. I include it with all of my systems. Just
not the box. He includes automation.
I include the automation. Yes. What else? But if you want to run 2 ACs at the same time while inverting, then that's why we recommend a second inverter on this, and then split them up. One is on one leg and the other inverter is on the other leg. It's cheaper to do 2 separate multi-pluses at 3,000 watts each, 3,000 watts each, rather than do a single Quattro, Victron Quattro, which is a 5,000 watt inverter. It's bang for your buck. It's a little bit more work to put 2 units in than it is to just have 1, but end goal, it's a little cheaper and you get an extra 1,000 watts. So that's why.
Bob's in the house. Thanks, Bob, for being
Bob.
here. Let me just look at, oh, he's actually be right back anyway. Yep. Camper life.
Wow, this is crazy.
Ronald.
Let's see. Do you have any experience with small lithium batteries? Small lithium battery chargers that you can buy from Costco. I want to run 12-volt refrig in my car separate from my car battery. No, but for this, I would refer you over to Will Prouse. He does a lot of literally building lithium battery banks and the charging needed, the battery management units, and he gives links to all the stuff that he builds and tests and dreams up. Smart kid. I mean, super smart kid.
Yeah, I'll put a link to him in this description afterwards too. Or William, if you can actually
link to his channel.
Yeah, if you can. That's I think it's DIY Solar Power with Will Prouse is his actual channel name.
Yep, I think you're right.
I don't know if we have any other moderators, but if we do, somebody can do it. Maybe. I'm not used to having moderators. I'm like,
cool.
Okay, go to Integra. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so I think that's it for now.
Yep.
All right, so still got 22 in the house. Any other questions? What?
Right there. Click that. I exploded my battery.
Oh yeah, I already put it up there while you were talking earlier because when he said that when you were talking about it, I was like, oh.
Wow. Yep.
Ouchie. But it was a long time ago.
Yep.
You learned a lot since then, hadn't you, Bill? I think I got all of the questions that were, in there.
Can you tell if you have a soft start on the AC without opening the unit? We have 3 AC units and seem to be able to run 2 ACs quite easily on 30 amp. So if you watch your current draw, either in watts or amps, as soon as the fan turns on, I'll do it in amps. Your amps will probably be about 3 to 4 amps higher than whatever you were doing, like your ambient, like watching TV, whatever. So it's going to go up 3 to 4 amps. Then when the compressor kicks on, hopefully whatever equipment you would be watching this on, I think the Power Watchdog, I don't know how quickly it refreshes, but it would go from 3 amps up to an additional 5 to 7 more. But as soon as it kicks, you have to watch it intently, and it may go to 12 or 14 and then drop back down to 5 or 7. I've seen there's a guy, I don't remember what his he's from the Easy Start company, shows you how to install the thing, and he has this meter that it shows you in real time. It refresh rate on it is fantastic because he shows that the peaks that the unit that he's working on, it went up to it's like 35 to 40 amps whenever the compressor kicked in, and that's what you're looking for. But the refresh rate on the equipment that you're using to watch it has to be like really fast because it only goes there for maybe a half a second. And I don't know if like the Watchdog, I don't know what the refresh rate is on that stuff.
And thank you, William, for getting that. So yeah, so this is Will Prouse, and he is I don't know how old he is. He's got to be young though.
He's probably about 30 to 33, 34.
Oh no, I would say he's much younger than I am. But he is wicked smart and he knows so much.
Yep. He gives you the math behind it too, which I really like that.
Yes, because that's essentially what Mike does. He's doing the math. He's not just, you know, he's not a sales guy, so he's not going to just sell you a bunch of stuff that you don't need. What?
Oh, no, that's good.
You're welcome. What are your guys' first names? That's what I was actually just looking up. I haven't seen your guys' channel before. I don't so I'm not as familiar with you guys. Sorry. Yes, yeah, he's a pretty awesome kid. He's got like over, I would say 300,000 or 400,000 subscribers. Yeah. So I mean, he definitely knows, and he tests the snot out of stuff. Well, my favorite video, yes, my favorite video is that he literally like saws into Battleborn and like other batteries so that you can really see the inside of what a battery looks like. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Like he's got some really cool videos. Gary and Carol. Okay. All right. Ooh. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. He has over 1 million.
He has millions of views.
Millions of views.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He is he's big time. But it still surprises me that a lot of people you know, have never heard of him, but we like to put his name out there. I'm sure he doesn't know who we are yet, but we put his name out there.
What are you talking about? Mike and Leanna, he knows exactly who we are.
Sure.
He's like, man, that guy really knows how to put a system in.
But you say he's almost as big as me. All right, so we're down to like 19 people. I mean, we've been on for almost 2 hours. I don't want to bore you guys.
Yeah, questions are thinning out. So.
Yeah, the questions are kind of thinning out. If you guys have anything else, like hurry up and put them in there. Otherwise, you know, we'll probably sign off for tonight. We haven't even had dinner. It's almost 8 o'clock.
I'm hungry.
I had you had a leftover pizza. I had
that was an
I had a vegetable tray.
Broccoli and ranch.
You're gonna eat broccoli right in front of everybody. Absolutely. That's just wrong.
It's good for you.
Anyway, we appreciate that, Bill. We're interesting. So absolutely, thank y'all for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so just a little thing about us. So this is Lucy, and come here, and this is Daisy. So these are our little babies. So you get to see them a lot because they like to make appearances only when they wake up.
Yep.
So we are not using any mic. Is that a good or a bad thing? We are actually just using the Mac computer mic.
Built in, yep.
Yeah, is it bad or is it good?
Well, we do have a Rode.
I do, yeah. We have
wireless mic stuff at my parents' house.
Oh, we sound great. Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. We have a lot going on outside this camper.
I mean,
there's like kids
sounds
yelling
like a zoo.
And, oh my god!
Like there's monkeys going. Oh!
I have literally closed every window possible. So where did they go? There we go. Hi, Lucy and Daisy. So they're still around. Love these. Do them more often. Thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving as well. Mm-hmm. We sound great and they sound okay, so that's cool. I'm glad.
Good to know.
On most of our videos though, he is a low talker. So anyway, so we've ordered him a Rode mic for his, like when he's doing his install videos. So that is why I was asking. I'm using a gaming laptop mic and it works really well too.
Cool.
Yeah, your live streams usually seem pretty good. Thank you, Bill, for being here. Yes, we look forward to, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then we hope you have a great Thanksgiving as well. You have one of the best channels that all RVers need. Thank you. Audio is great. Thank you, Ronald. We appreciate that. We appreciate you guys, you know, your support of our channel, and cheers. I'm out, but
some Mountain Dew.
That's not what I had in mind. But we hope to see you guys in Florida as well. Yeah.
Yes,
so we're gonna be so we're in pretty much South Carolina through the rest of November and December, and then we will start our Florida trek January, and we're actually gonna be with some friends and doing installs and like all kinds of stuff. So we'll be in Florida for about 2.5 months.
Action-packed 6 months.
Yeah, we have gotten some. Yeah, it's like so they're going to be in Florida January through March also. Cool. So we'll definitely have to meet up again with you guys. Thanks for taking time and explaining things. Thank you guys. We really appreciate you guys being here. We definitely miss you guys, and hope you guys stay safe as well. You know, if you guys that are not content creators haven't checked out some of these other channels, we have some really awesome channels that are here tonight. Just a big shout out to William of Camper Life. He is our moderator for tonight, so he's helping us.
He's being the bouncer.
Yeah, and just in case he needs to be. So we appreciate, I mean, we've been here for almost 2 hours and he's been here the entire time. So we really appreciate it. A lot of you guys have been here for the 2 hours that we've been on. So we really appreciate you as well. And, you know, we have some, I hope these guys come back on and do live streams sometime soon, because Bear and Dawn are pretty awesome.
I missed the music trivia with the, was it like Romeo and Juliet style theater
style?
Yeah.
But yeah, so anywho, but you know, some really awesome channels, and so we really appreciate everybody being here.
Yes, thank you all
if you're
much.
Rewatching, we are thankful that you are rewatching, and we hope we've answered some questions. If you guys have any additional questions, post them in the comments below, and then we are usually pretty quick to getting back to you, you know, on things. So we will answer as much as we can. Some things that we can't do because of, we choose not to do rather, because of liability, like on specifics and things like that. Oh, we got a quick question.
What was your favorite install and most challenging? So favorite install, I would say it's a toss-up. It would either be the Van Lee Villano, which was a max system. That basement was huge. It was 8.5 feet wide. I could have literally had a cot, small fridge, and a TV in there and just stayed. It was nice. And it was tall too. It was like 40 inches tall. Let's see. And most challenging.
Oh, by far Mike and Teresa, right? Mike and Teresa.
On the roof, yes.
Meant to be RVing.
Meant to be RVing. That was the most challenging on solar install.
Williams was pretty challenging.
Yep, Williams did. Oh, yeah, it was very. Yeah, actually, Williams did have a lot of complications. Even though it was Class A, normally they're not that difficult, but getting a wire from point A to point B just seemed to be like pulling teeth. It was very, very difficult, actually. But the most difficult install is those dang LTV vans, because they're 22 feet long, and you know.
Also, if you guys didn't see our interview, we had an interview. We were interviewed by Corey of the Northwoods RV Life. He has a YouTube channel as well, and so there were some questions that he had some really good questions for us as well. And we answer several questions over there also.
Yeah.
So you'll have to go check that out as well.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you guys for the questions too. Like we've enjoyed this time. We're yeah, I saw that. Of course we would love that. It's a freaking Integra. Yeah. Like 2 thumbs up.
Coming to the States anytime soon?
I know, right?
I've got some time out west in
if only I would,
July and August.
I could afford an
June,
Integra.
July. Huh.
I tell you, those are really
Those are
nice RVs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like them.
Yeah. Yeah, we are very envious. But I mean, we have a cool RV too. We have an Airstream with a slide, but it's not as cool as the Integra.
Yeah. Well, the outside of ours, I don't think there's a panel on it that doesn't have a dent in it.
We didn't do it. We bought it that way.
We bought it that way. But I'm sure that when people see us coming down, they're like, holy cow, get out of his way. He'll hit you.
Thank you for the reminder, William. You just texted me a reminder.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Like PBS, it was excellent. Oh,
it's pretty dang funny.
That's good stuff.
We hope that we do meet you guys out west. Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, we keep our schedule pretty much on our website. So if you want to go there and check out, or just send us an email to that email below, we will definitely interactive PBS.
That's even better.
Whoop, whoop.
That's better than on demand. So you have like regularly scheduled program, then you have on demand, and then you have me.
So we like to have fun, this is our third live stream ever. The first two were for each of our birthdays, so it was just total fun. But I think that this is something that we would like to do more of, but we'll see. Trying to get this guy to have time to make time for it is the hardest part.
Yep.
So, thank you, Bill. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
So, okay, now that I keep saying we're going to end, we really are going to end. And again, thanks for being here.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Paul and Megan, if you're still around, we'll call you in a minute.
Cool.
So, all right, guys, have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Be safe, safe travels.
Wear a mask in between places, like getting groceries and gas and stuff.
Yep. So I know 2 hours, Bill. I know we're exhausted. So let's end it here and peace out.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, Paul and Megan's still there. We're calling. We promise.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.